Hi, it's Paul Henry again, and I am here on location at Desert Rose Recovery. Wanted to talk to you today about the origins of the name, the brand. Um, Call it the Desert Rose Gazette. And I've gotten some positive, some negative feedback on that name. But I talked to the owner, and I wanted to know a little bit more about Desert Rose, the name, what it means, what it stands for, and I want to try to encapsulate everything that it is, everything that the center is, the people involved, the people who have gotten sober here. So the images that come to mind are a flower growing in the cracks of the pavement. You think of wildflowers growing the city streets amongst the broken glass and litter. You think of the underdogs, the people that have faced adversity yet come out on top. That one seed that, despite the lack of sunlight, the nutrients that it needs to survive, it's so resourceful, it finds a way, it makes a way. It's very much like the people who come here and the people who work here. Um, Desert Rose is a flower that grows in extremely harsh climate without water, um, survives sandstorms. Nothing grows in the desert. If you've been to the desert, or you are from Arizona or Texas, or you've been to a real serious desert, maybe overseas, you like the Sahara, maybe you would know that not much is happening, not much can live there. And then you see something so beautiful, and you just wonder, where did this come from? So you think of harsh environments, and that's the stories that we hear. And that's what Desert Rose here is all about. It's all about providing safety and a family and an environment that will give you the nutrients, the sunlight, the positivity, and also the climate, the atmosphere of change and positivity. Uh, we all need things to grow, just like a plant, just like a flower. And if we try, we can adapt. Now, a lot of us have adapted to environments that are not necessarily the conditions that we need to grow. So maybe we haven't really reached our potential. Maybe we need to trim the hedge in order to fully grow. This is kind of the premise that, in talking to clinical team, staff, and the owner, they want to cultivate here. It was formed originally as a woman's facility, actually for women who were homeless with children. It was a shelter, Desert Rose. It was an oasis in the middle of the city to try to help those who can escape the conditions and environment around them. In seeing so many of the young women struggling with substance abuse issues, Desert Rose became a full-fledged mental health and treatment center. interestingly enough, this population is dealing with the same issues, and when love is thrown upon them, it's like day and night. People feel like they found a family, someone they can connect with, and it's something that is incredibly powerful to be a part of or to see. So, Desert Rose is that flower growing down by the subway tracks, that seed that has made it without water and sunlight, that underdog, that forgotten person who's found new life through the love and support of the family around them. So I'd like to think of this as the garden, and like when you plant a seed in the garden, there's a few things around you, and so a few of those things that are around you are all having to deal with so the other part of Desert Rose is something pretty cool. I did a little bit more research into Desert Rose. Not only is Desert Rose a flower, a very rare flower, but check this out. Desert Rose is actually a crystal. Just like glass, it's formed in the sand. It's actually a gem, crystal gemstone. They will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for these things because it only happens in incredibly rare conditions. And if you Google right now Desert Rose, you'll see all these geometrical shapes, and they're crystals formed in sandstorms. They're these crystals that are shaped, and they look like roses and any lilies, any flower you can name, you will see that it's shaped like that. And it's so crazy because it's made out of sand, but it's crystallized, and these things are some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Why people love them is because every one is one of a kind, and they only last a certain amount of time. So you want to talk about something that is precious. What makes something precious? The rarity, how it's made, and what else is there? Is there another one? How could you replicate something that looks like it? You know, in this case, you have one of something that no one else has and will ever have. I mean, I suppose you could say that about a lot of different gems and stones, but you can cut and make them look alike. This you cannot maneuver. It will shatter, it will break. It's sand particles. So it really is exactly like how it was naturally occurring in nature. So think of a sandstorm. Think of the storm and the conditions that your life is in right now. Think about in the eye of the storm. That is when we are most connected with change. It's when we are most open to change. If we view it as an opportunity, we can go one of two ways. Have you ever wanted to hit that fork in the road? Have you ever wanted to be able to decide? So decide to decide today. Decide right now that this is that fork in the road, that this is that sandstorm, and that you're going to take some controversy, and you're going to take some struggle, and you're going to make it into a beautiful crystal. You're going to make it into a beautiful flower. You're going to take everything around you and transform it because of the healing properties and power of love and changing your environment to an environment of nurturing, of care and intention. Decide today that you have what it takes to be that seed. To be that seed that grows in the middle of the city, in the middle of the concrete, between the cracks. Rise above what's around you.